Hi Capricorn, welcome to your August 2018 tarot reading. We have a Celtic cross spread in front of us. Normally that's 10 cards, but you got 2 extra cards in the challenge or obstacle position, and then you also got an extra card in the outcome position. And then we have an oracle card that we'll read at the end of the reading, help tie everything together. Alright, so let's go one by one, starting with the main situation. So in that position we have the Page of Swords. Now this could be referring to some communication that comes your way. It could also be referring to a younger air sign, not necessarily young as in a child, but maybe someone younger than you that's in your life. But usually I do see this as just a message coming across. Keep in mind that Mercury will be retrograde for a good chunk of the month though, so you might not perceive the message as clearly as you normally would, but it is in the upright, so I do think that this will be honest communication, whatever it's about. We'll look at the challenge and obstacle position cards to see if they could shed a little light on what it may be. So you got 3 cards here. We have the King of Wands. That's normally my Leo card, so it could be a Leo that you're dealing with, or this could just be saying that as we enter the time of Leo, that's when you're going to receive this communication. Maybe it's communication you've been waiting on for a long time, and that's why this is in the challenge position, saying you're going to have to wait till the time of Leo. I'm actually recording this on the 21st of July, so we're about to kick off Leo season as I'm recording this. So it could be coming soon if that's the case. And then we also have the 9 of Pentacles and the 7 of Swords. So let's look at this from a few different angles. Let's say that this was, let's say you were dealing with a fire sign. Maybe you were in a relationship with a fire sign. And you find out, the communication you get is you find out that they were being deceptive and they were actually running around behind your back and acting single. That's one possibility. That's one of the more negative potential scenarios, but usually the 7 of Swords does point to deception, and usually it's deliberate deception. This is actually an Aquarius card too, and that reminds me that there's going to be a full moon lunar eclipse in Aquarius coming up. Like I said, I'm recording this the 21st of July, so in a few days that's going to be coming up, and that's actually in your second house. So this could be about finances. If this was a business partnership you were in, or maybe this is your boss and they weren't giving you the correct amount of money that they should have been, meaning that this is money that they were tucking away, making it seem like, oh yeah, all we have is this, right? Showing you those 2 swords, meanwhile they're carrying away those 5. So, and because of that, they were making more money off of you than they should have been. And so they're reaping the rewards of your hard work, essentially, put it that way. If that's the case, that could be coming to light. And like I said, even if it's not a fire sign, this could just be saying that in the time of Leo, you receive communication about this deception, and then maybe that'll help you get it rectified from there. As it is, this could refer to inheritance as well, or maybe if you're waiting on some word on a loan, or something along those lines, because there's actually going to be a new moon solar eclipse in Leo on August 11th, which is your 8th house, so that could be related to other people's money. So it could even be that, might not be necessarily if you're in a relationship with someone that's cheating. Could just be that maybe they were hiding money from you, Now, that's still a bad thing, right, for them to be dishonest in that regard, but it doesn't necessarily have to be infidelity. Maybe it's just that they actually had more money than they were saying they would, or that they were spending more money than they were saying they would. That's another way it could go as well. But yeah, like I said, given that there's the full moon coming up right now in your second house, that'll kick off the energy coming into August. And then you're going to have that new moon in the 8th house. That could be what it's tied to, some deception around money. I'm actually seeing that a little bit stronger than I am relationships, but for some of you, it could certainly be relationship deception as well. And for some of you, it might even be you that was being deceptive in that regard in some way. And only you would know what your intention was behind that. Maybe even if you just weren't sure you could trust the person, because we have the Seven of Cups in the near future, maybe you weren't letting on to how well off you were financially to see if they were really being honest with you or not. If that's the case, it looks like they are, so keep that in mind. But now you might have to explain to them, hey, I was, just so you know, I actually was just testing you, and hopefully that'll turn out in your favor if that's the case. In the foundation position, we have the Page of Wands. So this is another fire sign energy, and it could be communication from a fire sign again. So maybe if there was a fire sign being deceptive, they tell you about it. That's where the Ace of Swords comes into play. Hey, this is what was going on, whatever their reasoning behind it was, there was something that you weren't seeing, and now they'll reveal that to you. In the past, we have the Hermit. This is actually the major arcana card of Virgo. So could be a Virgo you were dealing with. Maybe they were the ones who brought this to your attention. What was going on? Maybe they knew about it. But with that lantern there and looking away, this could be you too, saying that maybe you knew that there was some deception going on, but you were choosing not to see it. Maybe you didn't want to believe it for whatever reason. Or if you were the one being deceptive, you were kind of hiding it very well from them. Again, like I said, whatever your reasoning may have been for that. On a positive note, though, Venus is actually traveling through Virgo right now, and it will be for the first 10 or so days of August. So that could help you as far as with ninth house activities, and just having it in a fellow earth sign could help you out as well, because it'll trine your if you have any planets in Capricorn, or if you're Capricorn rising, it'll trine your first house. So that could be some helpful energy there. In the present position, we have the Five of Pentacles. So, this is definitely a card of feeling left out in the cold. This could be pointing to financial difficulty or difficulty in relationships. This is actually a Taurus card, and I view this as Saturn visiting Venus. So that's where the difficulties could come in both relationships or finances. And if that's how you're feeling in the present, it could be because of that. Maybe you found out, hey, my boss was only saying we only had this much money. They actually had a lot more. I've been working hard. Where's my cut in that? So maybe you're just feeling left out in that regard. If that was the case, if it was deception on their end, it could have been accidental. I mean, it's rare with the Seven of Wands. Maybe they, weren't doing the books correctly, and they realize that and they rectify it. The reason I say that is because in the environment position, it looks like you're going to get some honesty from there too. So with these two cards at play, it looks like something's going to be at least you're going to find out the truth one way or another, put it that way. In the near future position, we have the Seven of Cups. So this could be you feeling unclear. Mercury's going to be retrograde a good part of this month, and it's going to be in a fellow, actually it's going to be in Leo, so that's your 8th house again. So if this is going back to inheritance or loans or something along those lines, and it's just been held up, right? Maybe you were applying for a loan and they tried to give you a way higher interest rate than you should have gotten, right? And then you find that out, like, oh, actually I should have had a much lower rate on this. So it could be something like that. Could just be saying that with all this energy in play, you're not sure what you can and can't trust. Just keep in mind, Mercury will be not only going direct towards the end of the month, but then early in September, it'll be completely out of its shadow and back at full speed. And around that time, your ruler, Saturn, which is in your sign right now, will start moving direct as well. So You combine those energies, this might be the last month where you're dealing with this energy of feeling confused and out of sorts. You do have the devil at the bottom of the deck. That is the major arcana card for Capricorn. And I believe either in June or July, I'm pretty sure it was June, we had the devil card for you, but it was upside down. So again, this could just be saying that that energy, that fog you've been under, this deception is now coming to light, being cleared up, and the energy is being cleared out. So at least there's that. Even if you have been going through some tough times, looks like they're on their way out, most likely. If not immediately this month, like I said, early to mid September, you might really start to feel it clearing out more at that point. You'll have Venus in your 10th house at that point, which will be your career house. So that could help with your status if you need to get a reset there. Or, like we said, if this was a case of you being underpaid, maybe they're fixing that now. Could be a few things. But yeah, all those energies, like I said, should be shifting soon enough. And then towards the end of September, you also have the sun move into your 10th house, which could help you get some recognition. So something to keep in mind there. And your influence in the situation position, we have you with the Three of Pentacles. So this is actually a Capricorn card. So this represents between 10 and 20 degrees of Capricorn. So if you guys are born in the middle of the sign, this might resonate with you more. This is actually my card of Venus meeting Saturn. So that's building something stable, which is where the Saturn energy comes in, but then it's something you'll be happy with, which is where the Venus energy comes into play. So this could just be saying that that's what you're doing. You're plugging away at work. You're trying to build something that'll last. Maybe if there was deception in your workplace or in a financial partnership, you're trying to do something on your own to rebalance your finances. That could be a possibility. Saturn transiting through your sign too. That could actually have you wanting to look towards more doing something for yourself, or maybe even something more spiritual, or at least spiritually fulfilling. So maybe if you're in your traditional corporate job and this hasn't been fulfilling for you lately, so you're trying to find something that speaks more to you on that level, that's a possibility. For example, a lot of Sagittarians have gotten into tarot recently with Saturn going through their sign. Sometimes those kinds of transits can bring that shift about. In the position of the environment, we have the Queen of Swords in the upright. So this is generally my Libra card, so maybe there's a Libra you're dealing with. A Libra is known as the sign of justice. That's their major arcana card, and they're known for fairness. And Libra is your 10th house. So there's a lot there that points to me saying that if this is some kind of financial situation, either, I think the title for your reading last month was Know When to Hold 'em. I don't remember all the details of the reading, but if it was asking you to let something go, it's saying that maybe if the next thing you take on, if this is an organization, for example, there'll be a very positive change for you. If you were in a place of employment that was treating you unfairly, being deceptive about how much money they could give you, oh, we don't have the money to give you a raise, or we don't have the resources to support a project you wanted to do, so on and so forth. Either they're coming out of that now and they're going to be straightforward with you. Hey, we found out this is going on. We have this much money available now. We can fund what you're trying to work on. Or it's a whole new organization altogether that's coming around. If that's the case, make sure you read over anything carefully this month if you are signing a new contract. And like I said, there's going to be energies to support that a little better. You will have Venus moving into your 10th house during August, actually, so that could help. Even though Mercury will still be retrograde, it's still a helpful placement to have Venus for starting a new career. But yeah, just anything financial related, even if this was legally, if you were legally in the system fighting over an inheritance or back pay that you were owed, or some insurance payouts or something along those lines. Queen of Swords in the upright in the environment shows that there will be a fair outcome there, and you'll receive communication about that this month. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Chariot. So I'm going to assume this is a hope and not a fear. You're probably just hoping for forward momentum in your life. That's what this could be speaking to. Maybe you're hoping to start a new relationship. If this was a relationship related, you're hoping to start a new one. Because the Chariot is the major arcana card for Cancer, which is your opposite sign, and your seventh house is a relationship house. You did have a new moon there, a new moon solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse in Cancer, the middle of July. And sometimes those energies could be around for up to 6 months, even though we have another eclipse right on its heels. But um, so maybe there's going to be improvement there. Maybe it's clearing out the deceptive energy from the seventh house and letting something new come in. In the outcome position, you had two major arcana cards here. We have Death and the Hierophant. So this is a major arcana card for Scorpio, and then this is a major arcana card for Taurus. So Scorpio right now has Jupiter moving through its sign, and Scorpio is your 11th house. So this could be saying if this was a friendship, you could be bringing that friendship to an end. If this was a creative partnership with a friend, you could be bringing that to an end. But these two energies together, really, Uranus is in Taurus right now, and that's your fifth house. That could be saying sudden shifts in that field. So fifth house is creativity, children, um, just having the light shine on you. Fifth house is Leo. It's ruled by Leo naturally, the natural fifth house, and it's ruled by the sun. This could be talking about recognition. So maybe the death is an end to this deception, and now you can look forward to some recognition coming forward in your career. This is just organizations as well. So maybe you're ending a connection with an organization. Like if it was a job that was being deceptive with you, you might be ending that. But the more likely energy that I'm seeing with these two, I see it as a positive. I'm seeing this as an end to the upheaval that was going on here and moving towards more stability, which, as Capricorns, you guys could definitely vibe with that. And like I said, right now, this card being represented by Taurus with Uranus in there could bring sudden shifts. So you might let go of a traditional job, corporate job, let's say, and start your own creative business, and it might take off quickly, for example. So that's certainly at least in the realm of possibility. But like I said, beyond just what we see in the tarot cards here, I would say if you're not feeling fully at full strength yet, give it another month or so. Around early to mid September, you should start feeling the energy shift a lot more in your favor then. So this could just be getting rid of the rest of the dead weight, kind of clearing it out. Especially, your ruler is Saturn. It's in your sign and it's going backwards. So to me, that kind of symbolizes it might be going back over everything. Make sure there's no cracks to the foundation, right? And this is what it's forcing you to do right now. Make sure what you're building is going to be stable. Something that, is well constructed like this. Otherwise, you could end up in, let's say, a tower situation where something you thought was stable and, going to give you that long-term security, something might come along and knock that image right out of the sky. So something to think about there. And like I said, I don't remember all of the messages in the last month's reading. I just remember the main message being no unfold them. So I'm guessing that you were being asked to let something go there. And if that's the case, it looks like some of that energy might be remaining. And whether it's the same organization and you're starting a new chapter with them, or a new organization, or leaving one romantic relationship, starting another, looks like it should work out in your favor. It looks like you should receive fairness, stability from this new connection, whatever it might be tied to. Just keep in mind, while Mercury's retrograde, you might not be seeing everything fully clearly, and it might take till early September before you see that and can really start to build momentum. All right, your oracle cards is time for a nap, and that's number 24, if that holds any significance for some of you. Let's take a look at the artwork for a second. See a crescent moon with a fox on it. All right, and I'll get the message from the book. This is from the Wisdom of the Oracle, by the way, by Colette Baron Reed. All right, it says essential meanings: rest, rejuvenation, and renewal, temporary non-action, allowing dreams to arise. The Oracle's message: this is a time to step away and rest. Let the cares of your world go. Go into a state of non-action and allow yourself to be free of the shackles of your goals, your list, your desires. Nothing is as important as rest, detachment, and neutrality. The overly busy mind can block you from inner wisdom if you don't step back, take a seat, and rest. Be willing to let dreams surface and ideas flow through you, absent any force or conscious direction, as you observe without engagement now. So that could be saying what it is too. Maybe you have been working so hard with the expectation that there will be a reward of some kind, and it just hasn't been coming forward in the way you'd hoped. Saturn, your ruler Saturn, is retrograde every year. So that's not like it's some crazy rare event. But the difference is this time it's in your sign. So to me, that magnifies it and says that it's really asking you to look at some things in your life. And, it can seem tough. You guys are used to the Saturnian energy, which is part of why you tend to be such hard workers and really can plug away at a goal and keep working at it. But with Saturn in your sign and moving in retrograde, yeah, it might make you feel like it's putting a pinch on you, but Saturn will reward that work too, though. So once it starts to move forward again, you'll probably start to feel that a little bit more. And then towards the end of this year, the nodes are actually going to move onto the Cancer and Capricorn axis. So you'll have more eclipses there. So it'll be asking you to get rid of some things from your life. But there are always things that needed to go anyway. And they'll clear the way for you to build something more stable and long lasting. All right, for those of you if this resonated as a relationship reading, it says when it comes to matters of the heart, don't make any plans right now. If you're not partnered, it's good to take this time out to get to know yourself. If you're involved with someone, relax and just be with your partner. This is going to be an uneventful moment in time. Don't force anything now. Allow things to flow naturally, and a beautiful renewal will take place all by itself. Patience is the key to your heart's desire right now. Withdraw from action in your relationship and give it a rest so that your love and connection can become rejuvenated. So like I said, even if this was something a little more innocent than the type of deception we could think of with the Seven of Swords, right? Like we said, maybe it was someone, maybe you didn't reveal to them how financially well off you were until you were sure you could trust them, or vice versa, right? Now, with these two cards here, the Page of Swords and then them and the Queen of Swords in the upright, shows that they could be honest with you about that. So that's something to keep in mind. And then that could be saying beautiful renewal taking place all by itself once you guys reestablish that ground and you clear the air about what was really going on. Then you can move forward. That could be what the Death card is referring to as well. The Death card by itself, I usually see as definitely an ending, as opposed to I would see the Judgment card as more of the renewal side of that energy. But the depth of that and then the Hierophant there, that could be saying the combination of the two is the depth of all of this confusion and deception, and then building something, right? Building something more concrete, traditional, stable. So that could certainly be what's going on there. And for those of you if this resonated more on a financial basis, we'll read the prosperity message. It says, this is a great time to take a break from your busy schedule and allow yourself the opportunity to step back. Your plans are meant to be put on ice. Your goals can wait. Dream, imagine, and let go of attachments to any outcome now. Meditate and take a holiday if you can. Things will speed up soon enough. After a break, you may want to make some changes. Epiphanies have an amazing way of arising when you take your focus off your to do list and allow yourself to rest. So, I mean, that could be pointing to, you know, that hermit energy there, even though that's shown up in the past. And then the Seven of Cups here. It's saying dream, imagine, let go of attachments without outcome now. So that could be what that's saying about. Really envision what you want to do. That's not the best position to be in to make a position, but maybe that's going to help you see what route you want to go. And then once you get through that process, you can move forward knowing that you could build something stable that'll last. All right, so that's all the messages I had for you guys this month, and I'll see you all next month. Bye.